So next we'll discuss about the input and output devices. So generally PLC's input and output devices are generally categorized into two types. One is digital, another one is analog. Digital input output or analog input output. So generally digital will have only two status. Either it will be on or off. So if it is on, the status will be taken as 1. If it is off, it will be taken as 0. Now, if it is on and if it is off, if it is on, what will happen? PLC will be receiving 24 volt DC. So this only I have mentioned as working voltage. So PLC's working voltage will be mostly 24 volt DC only for digital. So what will happen? If it is on, it will receive 24 volt, otherwise it will receive 0 volt. Off means 0 volt. So this will be in case of digital. Digital input, commonly we will have switch, push button, digital sensors like that. So if switch is on, it will give 24 volt. If switch is off, it will give 0 volt. So how it will be connected means like this. If this is the first terminal, here the switch will be connected like this. With the first terminal, it will be wired like this, and here they will give 24 volt DC. So whenever the switch is getting activated, what will happen? It will get closed. So 24 volt DC will be flowing here to this terminal. So this is how digital will be functioning. Now in case of analog is not just two status, it will be having a continuous signal. So continuous signal in the sense, it will be either in the form of voltage signal or current signal. Voltage, we have separate voltage, we have separate ranges. For example, 0 to 10 volt range is there, minus 10 volt to plus 10 volt range is there. Next, in case of current, for current you have separate ranges like 0 to 20 milliamps. Next we have 4 to 20 milliamps. Like this, different ranges are there separately for voltage and current. So this is how it will be classified. Now what will happen? So where this and all will be used means, generally the difference between digital and analog. Digital in the sense, it will have, as I said earlier, it will have only two stages. Either it will be on or off. But analog will be in form of continuous signals. For example, where this analog signals and all will be used means to measure temperature, pressure, level of tank, speed, flow, like that. In different areas, they will be using this analog signals because, for example, if you want to know what is the level, you can measure, you will be measuring it. But if you want to know what is the status of lamp, you can say it in two status. Either it is on or off, like that only you will say. So on, off, whichever output or whichever input you are mentioning it as on, off, just by two status you are mentioning means it is digital. But if you mention like this, it is level is 30%, 40%, 50%, like that, you cannot say that in a specific status like level is on, level is off, like that and all you cannot say. You will be saying like level is this much range. So level is 40 to 50, like that you will be specifically mentioning some range. So wherever you are mentioning some range, so that and all will be taken as analog. So wherever you are mentioning it in two status, that will be called as digital. So this is the difference between digital and analog. So digital directly you will connect, but analog, what will happen? You will be having two wires in that, positive and negative. Same way here also there will be two wires for analog. For digital there will be single terminal only, but for analog there will be two terminals for each and everything. So what will happen? Positive, negative, first analog input, second analog input, positive, negative, like that it will be. So you will be, for example, I want to measure the level of the tank. So for that I am using a level transmitter. So level transmitter is a analog input device. So what will happen is the output of this will be either in form of, in this, either in any one of this range only. So for example, I'm using 0 to 10 volt level transmitter means if tank level is 0, the output will be 0 volt. If tank level is 100, the output will be 10 volt. If tank level is 50, it will be 5 volt. Like that, based on the different range, the value of the level transmitter will be changing in different range. So that will be given as output by the level transmitter through this two terminals only. So what we have to do, we have to connect this in the PLC's analog input. For example, if this is a PLC, so in PLC, what will happen? First power supply will be there. After that, input terminals will be there. So this is the first analog input means it will be mentioned analog input 1 like this. It will be mentioned. This will be mentioned as positive. This will be mentioned as negative. So what we have to do, we have to connect like this. So this is how analog will be connected and digital can be directly connected both in the case of input as well as output. So, so this is how the input terminals and output terminals will be used in the PLC. Now, as we discussed earlier, generally the working voltage of common PLC is 24 volt DC only. But what will happen if 24 volt DC is given here? Directly, if it is given through this and if it is given to processor, it will processor will be damaged because processor is just a small IC which can withstand maximum up to 5 volt because the working voltage of processor is generally 5 volt DC. So if we directly give to 24 volt here through this input, what will happen directly if it goes to the processor will be getting damaged. So what we have to do, we have to protect the processor from this. So in order to protect the processor, what we have to do is we have to do something here. So inbuiltly we have that protection in this PLC and that is called as isolation barrier. So what is the function of this isolation barrier means generally it is protecting the processor from this high volt. So if 24 volt is given here, what will happen? Inbuiltly, it will be getting converted to 5 volt and that will be given as processor's input. So this will be happening in the input side. So input side isolation barrier will be converting 24 volt DC to 5 volt. So same way, output side isolation barrier is there. So what is the function of this means processor again it will give 5 volt. So the 5 volt which is given by the processor, what will happen again it will be converted to 24 volt in the output side isolation barrier. So how that is happening? What is present inside that isolation barrier? So that we will discuss now. So in isolation barrier, you have two different things. One is input side, another one is output side. Input side's function is 24 volt to 5 volt, and output side is 5 volt to 24 volt. So what will be available inside that isolation barrier means here also we have two types. So based on this isolation barriers arrangement or the component present inside that isolation barrier, again the PLC is classified into two types. So one is transistor based PLC and the other one is relay based PLC. One is transistor based and the other one is relay based. So first we will see what is this transistor based. So transistor based means inside the PLC for this protection there will be a component called optocoupler. That is, it is the combination of photodiode. That is, it is the combination of LED and phototransistor. LED means photodiode and phototransistor. So what is the working of LED? LED generally, if it accepts any voltage, if any voltage is given, what will happen? It will directly emit the radiation. So that is the work of this LED. Now, what is the work of this transistor means? This is not a normal transistor; it is a phototransistor. So, what is the work of phototransistor means? Whenever any light is emitted from that LED, automatically this terminal, this is base terminal, this base terminal will be energized. If base is energized, what will happen? Whatever we are giving here will be received here, like a switch only. Transistor is a switching device. So whatever voltage we are giving here, that will be received here when this base terminal is energized. So what will happen here is whenever this LED is activated, whatever voltage you are giving here will be received here. So what will happen here is internally inside that PLC, this will be connected to 5 volt DC. So internally there will be some arrangement for generating that 5 volt DC. So that will be connected in this terminal. Now what will happen is whenever this LED is activated, automatically this 5 volt will be passing here and that will be given to processor or CPU. To CPU, this 5 volt will be generated internally. Now, when that LED will be activated means this LED will be directly connected to the PLC's input terminal. So, for example, if this is the first input, this first input of PLC, input 1, will be connected to this terminal. Now, input 2, what will happen? For that, another setup will be there like this. Like this again here 5 volt. So this will be given from the second input like that. So this will be converted and it will be given to CPU. Now this is input 2 like that. For every input there will be separate arrangements like this, and this will be commonly connected and it will be grounded. So this terminal will be called as common. So only for 2 terminals I have drawn here, but what will happen if you have some 20 terminals? For each and every terminal, this arrangement will be separately there. So what will happen whenever any switch is connected like this? If the switch is activated, what will happen? Automatically this 24 volt will be directly flowing to this LED. So what will happen? Already this LED is grounded. So what will happen if 24 volt DC is given here? So internally what will happen? There will be some resistors to limit it. So what will happen? That LED will be activated. So whenever that LED is activated, what will happen? That light emitted will be activating this base terminal. If this base terminal is activated, the 5 volt which is given internally will be reflected here to the CPU. So CPU will be, for example, the function of CPU, it will be checking whether it is received from the first input or second input or third input like that. It will be checking. Based on that, what will happen? Internal functions will be carried out. And after that, what will happen? Based on the internal program, again, if some output should be activated, in that particular terminal, the CPU will be giving that 5 volt. So what should happen? CPU will be giving only 5 volt here in any one of this. So again, that has to be converted to 24 volt. So for that, in output side isolation barrier, like the same arrangement only, what will happen? 5 volt will be received from CPU. So here from CPU 5 volt will be received. This is output side isolation barrier. From CPU it is received. So what will happen? That 5 volt will be given to this LED. So if this LED is activated, what will happen? This photo transistor will be doing the function. So here what will happen is they will be connecting external 24 volt DC. So whenever this LED is activated, what will happen? This 24 volt will be passing through this and that will be received in the output. So this is first output, output 1. Like that, for every output, separate connections will be there. So in input side, what is happening? This 24 volt, if it is given, this 5 volt is given to the processor. If 24 volt is given in this terminal, through this 5 volt will be given to processor to the second input, like that. So same way here, whichever output processor has to activate, that particular terminal will be receiving that 5 volt here, and this output side isolation barrier will be doing this 5 to 24 conversion, and that will be received in the output. So this is the function of isolation barrier internally. So it is converting and it is also protecting the processor from external function. So how I'm saying here it is protecting, how it is protecting means, see this optocoupler generally, it is the combination of LED and phototransistor. It is not interconnected. What is happening? LED is separate, phototransistor is separate. It is not connected together. Whenever this LED is activated only, this phototransistor will be doing the function. So suddenly what is happening? Unknowingly, instead of 24 volt, I have given 230 volt. What will happen? Here directly this LED only will be getting damaged. It will not pass through this and it will not affect the processor. So this is how the isolation barrier will be protecting the processor, both in the input side as well as output side. Now this is the function of transistor based isolation barrier. If it is relay based, instead of transistor, there will be relay. Relay means the function will be like this. So what will happen? Whenever this coil is getting energized, the switch will be getting closed. For example, here I'm giving 5 volt. So from processor 5 volt is received means this coil will be getting energized, and in this terminal what will happen is they will be giving 24 volt DC. So that 24 volt DC which is given in this terminal will be received in this terminal. So why there are two different devices? Some PLC will have transistor, some will be having relay. So what is the difference between this transistor and relay based means? Compared to relay based PLC, this transistor based PLC's working, that is speed of operation, will be much faster. For example, if relay based is taking for this switching 5 to 24, it is taking some 0.2 millisecond means this transistor will take only 0.1 millisecond. Like that, compared to relay based, transistor based will be much faster. Here this I have given for some example only, but this will not be the exact thing. So based on the different type, this time also will be changing. But compared to relay based, transistor based will be much faster. So whenever you need a faster response in the process, they will be choosing this transistor based PLC only. So this is the function of isolation barrier.